We begin in Kenya this morning on the Standard newspapers and share with you what the big ones there. It says, no place for small tribes in public service. That doesn't look like a good headline. It says a report by MPs shows skewed composition of civil servants and huge ethnic imbalance in employment, with a few communities taking the bulk of the slots in some government institutions. One community can occupy close to 40% of the positions. Gender rule is also foreign in the civil service. This is really sad and shocking, but obviously a problem that needs to be sorted out in Kenya. It also says here, shock of 3,000 schools without head teachers. You can read more of that on the Standard this morning. Mbadi tears into Wadanyi over performance. And also Safaricom CEO board bag 534 million shillings in bonuses. Final story this morning. Unease over US-Ukraine cluster bomb deal. That's in foreign news. And these are the big stories on the Standard newspapers this morning in Kenya. Let's go from Kenya to Uganda and see what's on the Daily Monitor.
All right, on the front page of the Daily Monitor, fight erupts over industrial parks. Titanic battle, the business for developing Kashese Industrial Park that State Investment Minister Evelyn Anite in a U-turn once for Lagan Group was given by President Museveni to AXA Group in 2014 as compensation for Entebbe Airport upgrade works, which bureaucrats handed over to a Chinese firm behind his back after he offered it to AXA. Well, we also have here Children's Day. Church celebrates fate of the little ones. The 10 reasons why Antholi chiefs want to dethrone Wat Akana, page 10 and 11. Night gatherings suspended in Keyegegwa over security threats. Christians back to church after sex on altar scandal. And then we have at the top of the paper, Miracle Babies, Mbabazi's journey to motherhood on page 16. And the final story, Kazimba takes charge of divided Luwero diocese. That's all we can take this morning. Let's move back to where we are here in Nigeria to see what's happening on the front page of the Daily Sun.
All right, the big one on the Daily Sun says, Atiku hits Tinubu hard. Says current APC government worsening poverty. Warns president supporters not to disrupt tribunals' proceedings. Economy already bad before his coming, says Man Nasima and others. Also on the Daily Sun, account for $5 billion Abacha loots, court orders Obasanjo, Yar'Adua, Jonathan, Buhari governments. Not very likely that would happen. But of course, it brings back the conversation on the Auditor General's office and how, I think more Nigerians need to pay attention to what the Auditor General and what the Auditor General's report is every year about expenses, and of course, each successive Nigerian government, yes, needs to be accountable, financially accountable to the Nigerian people. But I think, that Nigerians are really just filled with so many questions at the same time that, a lot of these things get, ignored or swept under the rug. Nobody remembers to ask about things like this because there's so many other things and so many other bits of, corruption allegations being dealt with at the same time. Still on the Daily Sun this morning, 14 die, 9 injured in Lagos auto crash. Plateau governor imposes curfew as gunmen kill 9, raise 6 houses in a community. Of course, the news also, I think, did show something about violence, I believe, in Benue State over the weekend. Tinubu emerges new ECOWAS chairman, harps on regional security. World Bank loan threatens $500 million investment of local meter manufacturers. We can also find here Seychelles bans Nigerian passport holders from tourism.
I saw that thing and it made me very sad. Because a number of us were delaying to go on that trip, for example. You're hoping to go there. And I mean, beyond the personal interest of wanting to go there for leisure, it just once again shows the difficulty that we have as a continent being able to, it's actually easier to go to some parts of Europe than it is to go to some countries in Africa. Yeah. And every day we're seeing stories like this emerging, new policies like this being implemented that prevents intracontinental trade, intracontinental movement. And it's very sad.
Well, I think we'll, of course, figure out why exactly that is.
Well, there had been conversations over the weekend. There isn't any concrete information, but there were conversations over the weekend as to how some people had been taking in some drugs, to be precise, into Seychelles, and how some Nigerians, a Nigerian in Seychelles, was saying that they need to stop Nigerians from bringing that in. But I mean, this isn't very confirmed, but this is something that we've heard every once in a while.
Yeah.
But
All right.
I wonder if Nigeria is going to take a very decisive action. Nigeria should take a decisive action.
Is it by force?
Yes, it's by force.
No, it's not. I mean, it's decisive action on who? On Seychelles?
At this point, well,
No, it's not. They decide who they let into their country. What we need to figure out is exactly why this has happened.
so maybe try negotiation, and if that doesn't work, we'll return the favor.
I mean, if it is that important, it's not banning trade between Seychelles and Nigeria, is it? No. So if they've decided that the Nigerian, the money that Nigerians bring in through tourism, because what we're talking about here is tourism.
Tourism, yes.
So if they are deciding that the money Nigerians bring in through tourism is not worth, what they are trying to prevent, or it's not as, it's less, of course, than what they're trying to prevent, then they have the right to take that decision. And the Nigerian government cannot force people to accept its citizens, as tourists. It's not by force. And at the same time, we need to also checkmate or figure out exactly what, has caused this. What is the value of the Nigerian passport in different parts of the world today? Those are the things that Nigerian
other
government
countries
needs
are
to
looking
focus
forward
on.
to removing these barriers.
Yeah.
Kenya and Congo Brazzaville have done the same thing now, removed visa travel barriers.
As long as
between
trade
both
has not been affected, between these two countries, and they still have good business relationships, every other thing else is irrelevant. It's irrelevant. Anyway, those are the stories on the Daily Sun this morning. Let's still here in Nigeria, go to the Daily Trust newspapers.
On the front page of the Daily Trust, why local rice price continues to rise, according to millers and farmers. They blame corruption, inadequate paddy supply, and poor irrigation. They're seeking subsidy from federal government. Citizens say Tinubu must wade in, and CBN says we supported 4.57 million farmers. Tinubu emerges ECOWAS chair, advocates regional counter-terrorism. 15 bodies recovered, 78 houses burnt in Plateau, according to MACBAN. Sokoto butcher killed by Amotekun in Oyo. And here we have this is a joint meeting of Executive Committee and Board of Trustees of the Forum of Former Deputy Governors of Nigeria. It's held in Abuja on the 5th of July, 2023. That's all that we can take this morning. If you'd like to engage with us, we'd like to react to any of the stories that we've taken, tweet at News Central TV. On all social media platforms, share a message with us, and we'd be very excited to engage with you, to retweet and maybe read your tweets on air.